this lesson, we'll be modelling a 3D logo using Cinema 4D. We'll be working with the Learning Fever logo, and the final result will look something like this. The first step is to start with a new project. Go to the File menu and select New. Several scenes can be open at once in Cinema 4D, and you can switch between them by going to the Window menu, and you'll find them down here. Okay, in the Viewports menus, select View, View 4, which is the front view. You should be looking at the XY view. If you're not, go to the Cameras menu and select Front. Now load the template image into the viewport. In the viewport, select the Edit menu and scroll down to Configure, and in the Attributes Manager, select the Back tab, click on the image field, and from the course material provided, select LF Logo 01 and click Open. Now we're going to scale and position that logo. In the Attributes Manager, in the Size X field, enter 615. In the Y offset, enter 135. The logo now sits up above the X-axis. The first thing we're going to model is one of the text objects. So go to the Objects menu, scroll down to Spline Primitive and select Text. In the Attributes Manager, type in the word Learning. Select the font type, which is Avant-Garde Gothic. The text height will be 95 meters, and the horizontal spacing will be -2 meters. Now we can position that text object by dragging the axis, or we can position it using the Coordinates Manager. In the Position X field, enter -110 meters, and in the Position Y field, enter 30 meters. Now name that object, go to the Objects Manager, double click on the text object, and type in Learning Text. Now repeat the process for the other two text objects. Go to Objects, Spline Primitive, Text. The second text object is the word Fever, and the font type is Avant-Garde Book. The line height is also 95 meters, and the horizontal spacing is -1 meter. In the Coordinates Manager, in the Position X field, enter 180 meters and enter 30 meters in the Position Y field. Then name that object Fever Text. Now create the third text object. Go to Objects, Spline Primitive, Text. Enter Discovery is Easy! And the font type is Myriad Apple. The line height is 20 meters, and the horizontal spacing is 3 meters. It sits 175 meters to the right and 5 meters up. Then name that object Discovery Text. Now the next part of the process is to extrude those text objects. To do that, we'll be using NURBS. Go to the Objects menu, scroll down to NURBS and select Extrude NURBS. Now name that extrude object Learning, and in the Attributes Manager, enter 15 meters in the Z movement field. For the next step, let's view this in 3D. In the Viewports menus, go to View, View 1. You'll see our text objects there as outlines in 2D. In the Objects Manager, drag the Learning text object onto the Learning object. You'll see in the viewport that the word Learning is now in 3D. We'll now repeat the process for the other two text objects. Go to Objects, NURBS, Extrude NURBS. Name that object Fever. Set the Z movement at 15 meters. Then drag the Fever text object onto the Fever object. And once more, Objects, NURBS, Extrude NURBS. Call this one Discovery. And we'll set the Z movement here at 5 meters. Then drag the Discovery text object onto the Discovery object. Then close each of those objects. Now to adjust your view in the viewport, hold down the 1 key and move the mouse left and right, and that pans in the viewport. Hold down the 2 key and move the mouse, and that zooms in the viewport. Then hold down the 3 key and move the mouse, and that tracks in the viewport. So save your project, and in the next lesson we'll be learning how to model the mascot part of the Learning Fever logo.